I've been off of YouTube for, well, quite some time now, and I have got a lot of cool things to tell you about. Not the least of which is outstanding David Marks class that I just took. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you about an undiscovered YouTube channel that I came across that I think has some real possibilities. Oh, I forgot to mention, I also got a sneak peek at brand new twin screw non-racking vise by Andy Klein. I'll show you that in a couple minutes. Hi, Charlie Kosorek, Jackbench Woodworking, and like I said, yeah, I've been off the grid for a little while now, probably, well, several months. There's a few variety of reasons for that. I'd like to get into those more later. It's more of a long story I don't want to do right now. But one of the things I have been doing, though, I've been teaching veneer classes at my house, and I'm going to be teaching them, a few of them around town. So if anyone's interested in some basic veneering classes, I promise you won't be disappointed. Let me know and I'll keep you up to date with where I'm teaching classes at. So the big thing I wanted to talk about, the most exciting thing I think, is I just took a class with David Marks at his studio in Santa Rosa, and I took his gilding and patination class, where you take metal leaf, gold leaf, silver, copper, different kinds of metal leaf, the real thin stuff, and you put it onto wood, or anything actually, and then you treat it with chemicals to get different effects. And so the first thing we did in his class was we made a sample board, and this is my sample board from the class. I don't know how well you can see that, but anyway, we put three different metals on here. We've got imitation gold, silver, and copper. This is all silver, this is all imitation gold, this is all copper. And then we treated it with a variety of different chemicals. This is untreated. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 different chemical brews that David has got to get different effects. So now we know what the effects will be. Then we made some sample boards, and wow, this is some really cool stuff that he showed us how to do. This is one of my absolute favorites here. This is the leaves are real gold, and the surrounding on this one is this is an imitation gold surrounding it in real gold. What an elegant look that is. And then we've got this other one here, and this is similar except it's copper, and I've got some different texturing on there. Again, I think this is just a really cool, elegant look. I made a few others. Here's one that's a variety of different colors and textures. It's kind of a, I don't know what you'd call it, a mosaic-y thing, I guess. That's probably not the right word. No, it isn't. And I did this one. Personally, this is my least favorite of the bunch, but it still has some possibilities. And then finally, I did this one with a peacock. You can see that. And anyway, what I wanted to just let you know that I took that class, and I would highly, highly recommend it. David is such a good guy. He's a great instructor. He knows what he's talking about. And while I was there, I also bought his CD on gilding and patination. So if you can't make it out to Santa Rosa for the class, maybe pick up the CD, because this is just fun stuff here. I drove from Minneapolis to Santa Rosa for David's class, and so I made a big road trip out of it. I went all over the country, and my first stop was in Denver, and I was invited to visit with Roper at his studio shop in Denver, or Golden I think it is actually. He gave me this cool shirt. Thank you so much, Roper, for that. And he also gave me this bottle stopper that he made, and it is outstanding. He just does great work there. He's a very, very nice guy. He teaches classes. He sells turnings, obviously. Just super talented. If you want to learn anything about turning and you're in that area, he's the guy to go to, I think. And his partner, I also met, Jonathan Medina. and he sells lumber. So if you're in that area, you're looking for some good local lumber, get a hold of Jonathan over there. So also, when I was in Denver, I went to a meetup there through the Denver Facebook group, and I met James King and his family, and James gave me this Thor's hammer. I mean, this thing is, this is a frickin' fabulous Thor's hammer here, and the head on this is actually made out of lignum vitae. I mean, it's one of the, it's not, I think it's the densest wood in the world. It'll sink in water. So thanks so much to James for giving me that, and if you want one of these, he sells them. He makes them and he sells a ton of them because they are so cool. Also at the meetup, Shogun Jimmy was there, and just so many people, I can't even name them all. But thanks to everyone who showed up. It was great, visiting with you that night. And while I was in the Denver area, I also stopped and visited with Mel Morris, a good guy, and he's got a 16-inch Felder joiner planer. Wow, what a sweet machine. So after Denver, I was headed, west towards Santa Rosa, and I stopped in Salt Lake City. I had lunch with Mark Schaefermeyer, and super cool guy, nice guy. Then from there, well, he has a sticker. He's got a sticker and a YouTube channel. Roper's got stickers, and of course, I got one from James King. Check out his YouTube channel too. It's very good. So from there, I drove, like I said, Salt Lake, visited with Mark, and then I went to, stopped in Reno for a while, just hung around there, and I went to Sacramento. I was fortunate enough to be generously invited to stay with Megan and Ray Motor at their house in Sacramento, which was great people. While I was in Sacramento, I went to the Felder Hammer showroom and looked at all the machines. I hung around. I wasted a couple hours of those guys' time, and they were really pretty good guys to hang with over there. In fact, I might even buy one of those hammer machines. After Sacramento, then I finally got to Santa Rosa, looked at the horrible fire devastation in that area. It's just awful what's happened up there. But, like I said, the class was fantastic. David was fantastic. If you get a chance, go there. So after that, I headed down to Vegas. I wanted to meet up with Braxton and Chris Kirshner and Bill DeVolsley, and so I headed down there for that. On the way, I stopped. I had dinner with Bill Lutz. Thanks, Bill. It was really good, really nice meeting with you. And I also stopped at the Sequoia National Park, looked at all the great big trees. It's a fantastic park. If you're in the area, if you haven't been there, you got to go there. They actually have what they claim to be, and they're probably right, is the largest tree on the planet. Well, that's saying something. The largest tree on the planet. 36 feet in diameter, I don't know, 300 feet tall or something. Just a massive tree. So anyway, the park was fun. Great weather getting up there. It was good. I don't want to overstate it though. It's trees. Okay, it's trees. But just the same, I'm really glad I stopped there. So then, like I said, I did go down to Vegas. I visited with Braxton. What's to say about Braxton? He's a cool guy. And Chris Kirshner and Bill DeVolsley, of course. Nothing, good friends too. And then on the way back home, I stopped again in Denver and visited with Andy Klein, and we talked about and looked at the newest vise twin screw vise that he's designed. And this thing, oh my gosh, this is a killer. This is killer. Non-racking. It's got a high speed and a low speed on it, so you can, you can open and close it very quickly. It's something you can't do with the Lee Valley vise, which is a big issue for me with that one. And it has a slow speed, so you have high torque. It's non-racking. Wow, I think this one's going to be a hit. I'm hoping so. Andy deserves it for the great design he came up with. So that's what I've done most recently. That's where I've been. And what's coming up? Well, I'm actually working on a video where I'm testing wood glue. I've got 8 different PVA glues, you know, tight bond and similar glues to tight bond. And I'm testing all 8 of them at the same time, and the first test I'm doing is on open time. And actually some real surprises in there, stuff I didn't expect from that, especially based on what I've heard and what I've been told didn't match my test results. So keep an eye out for that video. And lastly, what I wanted to let you know is I came across this very, very tiny YouTube channel called Cammy's Garage, and undiscovered channel, and he does sculptural things. So he cuts wood up at different angles and he puts it together and he carves it with mostly power carving, and you know, he just does a nice job. The videos are concise, and you know, it's interesting. It's something that interests me anyway. So I'll have a link to that in the description for the video if you want to check out his channel. Like I said, it's very promising. I like what I've seen so far. We'll see where he takes it. Anyway, so thank you so much for watching, and thank all of my friends out there. It's amazing to me how many real honest-to-gosh friends that I've made through the YouTube and Facebook and social media.